Hello and welcome to my channel everyone. Hope everybody is doing absolutely fine. So in this video I am going to discuss about enzyme. So please watch this video till end. Like, share and subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow me on my Instagram page. So under biocatalyst we are going to learn about enzyme and its properties, rate of chemical process, how enzyme increases rate of reactions, how factors affecting enzymes, cofactors, what are the role of cofactors in enzymes, and last we will discuss about inhibition of enzyme activity. So let's proceed with enzymes and we will see the properties of enzymes. So enzymes are also known as biocatalysts, and what they are doing, they are accelerating the rate of reactions or making them faster than uncatalyzed reactions. Next, the enzymes are protein having 3D structure. So basically all enzymes are proteins, and protein they have tertiary structure. So there is an exception that the nucleic acid, which is known as ribozyme, is also known as enzyme, or they comes under the category of enzymes. Next, the enzymes are mainly categorized as simple and conjugate enzymes. So basically simple enzymes are those enzymes which are only free amino acids, and conjugate enzymes are those enzymes where amino acids plus cofactors are involved. That means without the cofactors, the amino acids are inactive and they are known as apoenzymes. So these are the two categories of enzymes. One is simple and another one is conjugate. Now next is that the functional group present in R group of amino acids make catalytic action possible. That means the R group, that means the functional group, whatever the functional group is present in the R group of amino acid, that is making the catalytic action possible. So what is happening, that the active site where substrate binds to enzyme. So what enhances the catalytic power is the functional group which is present in the R group of amino acid. So these are some of the properties of enzymes, and 2-3 points more I would like to add here, that enzymes are very specific with their functions, and they are so much specific with some of the factors like temperature, their pH and the concentration of substrate. So we will see all these things in the part when we will discuss about factors which affect enzymes. In biocatalyst chemical reaction, the rate of process is given by the product form by the total time taking. Now, for every 10% increase, the rate of process, which is denoted by R, it get doubles. That means the rate of process it doubles when it increases by 10 degrees Celsius, and when it is decreased by 10 degrees Celsius, the rate of process become R by 2, that means half. Now, this increase and decrease of temperature is dependent on the specific enzyme, that how much it can resist. That means suppose an enzyme can resist up to 40 degrees Celsius. Suppose the range is 25 to 40 degrees Celsius. The range is the range of the temperature. Now, if it remains in this range, then the rate of process, when it will increase toward 40, it will become 2R. That means double. The rate of process will double for every 10 degree increase in temperature. Now if it will reduce towards 25, the rate of process will get half of at every 10 degree decrease in temperature. So after, if we go below 25, then the enzyme will not function or it will get inactive. Similarly, if it increase by 40 degree, then it will get denatured. So here we are going to see that how enzyme accelerate rate of reaction for product formation. So basically we know that enzymes are the protein, and what protein they are tertiary structure. Now due to their tertiary structure, we know that they have active site onto which the substrate will bind. Now substrate will be specific for specific enzyme. This we had seen in the properties of enzyme. Now there were two models to define that how enzyme actually bind the substrate. So one of the model is lock and key. So basically what was lock and key method? It tells that the specific type, that means the enzymes will have specific type of shape and onto which the substrate should be specific. They will not change the conformation, they will be of specific type, they will be very stable with the structure. So specific type of, suppose this is a structure of enzyme which is a stable type and this is the substrate which has to be bind, so their two should be so much specific that it may get fixed with each other. Now next is the induced fit model. So basically what was this type of model? In this model it was seen that enzyme changes the conformation to bind with substrate. Now here also the substrate will be specific for a specific type of enzyme, but the case is that the enzyme will be flexible this time. Now, so this induced fit model is mostly followed because enzymes are seen that they are flexible and they can change their conformation, that means induced conformation. So now what will happen? The substrate, the specific substrate for enzyme, if it is not having a structure similar to be fitted in the enzyme, when it will bind with the surface or the active site of enzyme, the enzyme will change its conformation, will slightly move to adjust the substrate into it. So this is the step, that substrate will first bind with the enzyme and the enzyme substrate complex will be formed. So basically this form is unstable. This substrate complex, substrate enzyme complex is an unstable, or we call it transient phenomena. Transient phenomena means, that means something which is at for a temporary period of time or short period of time. Now this is the process that substrate will bind to the enzyme, then it will form a ES complex, which is enzyme substrate complex. Now from enzyme substrate it will form an enzyme product. So now product is formed and enzyme is still attached to it. Now what will happen further, that enzyme will be released and product will be formed. Now when the product will be formed, enzyme will be released. So what will happen here, that enzyme will again go to bind with the substrate, the another substrate of specific type, to continue this cycle. So mainly these enzymes are basically playing role for metabolic reactions, and the end products are the result, the products are the end result. So for example, if I say that from glucose to pyruvic acid, so we will study this concept of also. So we will see in detail that how from glucose to glucose, the pyruvic acid will be formed by the process of glycolysis. We will discuss that this topic in a separate video. So now here, for now we have to just for an example, that metabolic reactions for glycolysis, that from glucose, that how pyruvic acids are formed, and some of the enzymes are involved for this process, for example hexokinase. So this is the step, this is the process, that how substrate to product are formed. With the help of enzyme it will form an unstable complex. Now when the product is formed, the product here is the pyruvic acid, which is formed from the substrate, which is glucose. So mainly responsible for metabolic reactions. Now we will see this whole thing with the help of graphical representation, that actually what enzymes is doing. We will graphically see the relationship between energy and reaction, and we can see here that the substrate is a complex type from which the product is to be formed, which is a simpler type. So we can see here that energy is released in this case, and when energy is released, it is known as exothermic reaction. So this reaction is basically exothermic reaction, where energy is being released. Now we can see here that the transition state is very high when where we are having no catalytic reaction. Transition state is high when no catalytic reaction is taking place. So when we are saying catalytic reaction, that means we are talking about presence of or absence of enzymes. So when there is no enzyme, the transition state or the substrate is releasing more energy to form a product. Now this affected as higher activation energy. Now transition state increased due to not presence of enzyme, higher activation energy, and now we can see that due to high activation energy, the rate of reaction is lower. So this condition is when there is no enzyme present. Now in second case we can see here that lower activation energy. So lower activation energy is because of presence of enzyme. So this is known as catalytic reaction. And what basically it is doing? It is increasing the rate of reaction. And we can see here that the transition state is also getting lower. And the rate of reaction is increasing. So this is how enzyme play its role to enhance or accelerate rate of reaction to form product from substrate. So now we are going to see about the factors that affect enzymes, and temperature and pH are the two factors which work in their optimum range. So we know that the enzymes are very specific with the resistivity of the temperature. That means if a organism living in certain area, and we say that some organisms can live in extreme conditions, so they have enzyme activity according to the adaptability according to the environment or climate they are living in. So if in that range or that range if increased, or if that range get lower, so what will happen if the temperature condition will decrease, the reactivity of enzymes will get inactive. Similarly for pH also, that the pH factors are dependent on acidic and basic property. So if the range of acidic properties will increase, then it may not be able to function, and similarly for basics also. So we are seeing here that for temperature, when it get lowers for the range, living organisms can resist. It get inactive if it get below the range. Now if it get above the range, like suppose I discussed earlier also the range of 25 to 40 degrees Celsius. So if the temperature will go above 40 degrees Celsius, then the enzyme activity may get denatured. So we had seen that enzymes are so specific with the temperature, with the pH, with the substrate. One more factors that affect enzyme is that the concentration of substrate, and this is very important. So we are going to see it graphically. But most important factor that affect enzyme activity, that is concentration of substrate. So we will see with the help of this graph that the Vmax is the final velocity of enzyme activity, Vmax by 2 is the half, Km is the Michaelis-Menten constant, and S is the substrate. So what is Vmax? It is basically the turnover of the product which is converted from the molecule of substrate by using specific enzyme. So what is happening here? At first the substrate is provided, but initially the substrate was provided, the Vmax rises at first. So we can see here that the graph is going straight diagonally. So at first the Vmax rises. Now secondly, what is happening here, that when it reached Vmax by 2, then it gets proportional or inverse relation with the Km, which is Michaelis-Menten constant. So here we can see two conditions. When it was below Km, we can see that enzyme have affinity or high affinity for substrate because Vmax rises at first. Now we can see here, after it passed from Vmax by 2, we can see that it becomes slightly curved. So this indicates that enzymes have, now when we can see that Km is getting higher. Now because of the inverse relation, when Km becomes higher, the activity of enzyme is becoming low. That means the affinity of enzyme to bind with the substrate it getting lower. Now third case is there, when it reached Vmax, we can see that no further catalytic reaction will occur because now it can be seen that it is going with a constant straight line. And next, after attaining Vmax, the saturation of enzyme will occur. So what will happen here, if substrate will be increased, now after reaching to the saturation point, if we are going to increase the substrate, then we are having no more enzymes to proceed the activities. So what will happen, Vmax, after attaining Vmax, it will not exceed. So this graph is very important. So please focus on this diagram. If you have any query, anything to ask, write in the comment section and you can message me on my Instagram page. So we had seen earlier that enzymes are categorized under two main criteria, that are, one is simple enzymes and other are conjugate enzymes. So basically conjugate enzymes are these enzymes which require cofactors. So basically cofactors are non-protein components and they bind with the enzymes because the enzymes here, they are known as conjugate enzyme, and these conjugate enzymes are inactive till cofactors are not bind. So when the cofactors are binded, they become active, and inactive state of these enzymes are known as apoenzymes. And when enzymes bind with the cofactor, enzyme plus cofactor, this is known as holoenzyme. And there are certain types of cofactors which are prosthetic group. For example, heme group for peroxidase enzyme. Coenzymes like we can see here NAD and NADP from vitamin B, which is niacin, and metal ions like zinc, divalent zinc for carbonic anhydrase. So when there will be no substrate to bind with the enzyme, the last activity which comes is the inhibition. So we are going to discuss about the competitive inhibitor. So what happens in this case, the inhibitors are very much similar to the structure of substrate which is to be bind at the enzyme active site. So one of the example we are going to see here, that the malonate will bind at the succinic dehydrogenase, which will inhibit the function of enzyme activity, which is enzyme succinic dehydrogenase. So it will come and bind at the active site of this enzyme and it will inhibit. So one of the importance or role of this inhibition is that it controls the bacterial pathogens. So this is all from this enzyme topic. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and you can write your query in the comment section, and you can also follow me on my Instagram link. Thank you for watching.